All right, let's get to the NFC West, where the Los Angeles Rams were champs a year ago. A lot of interesting names here that I could have gone with. I went with Devontae Adams because massive name wide receiver, right? But last year watching him, he was not the Devontae I knew and loved as Green Bay Packer. He's taken a step back in terms of just like his pure athleticism, but that's not always the way he won. He has great ball skills. He's a crafty route runner, but he will turn 33 in December. And kind of the same things we just talked about, crafty route runner, great ball skills. Well, that applied to Cooper Kupp too. And the wheels kind of fell off with him in Los Angeles. So I'm just interested to see how he pairs into that offense. If he's a great fit and has great rapport with Matt Stafford, this could be a top 5 offense in the NFL. But that's why I'm saying he's the most important guy here.
So obviously I am on the edge of my seat to watch Matt Stafford and Devontae Adams do work. We talked about the uncertainty at the offensive line position and how it doesn't really breed a lot of confidence for an aging Matt Stafford standing back there, a bit statuesque at times. And for Devontae Adams, he kind of lacks that top end speed. They're obviously going to need to rely on other people. I think about Kyron Williams as a guy that's going to be massively important for this offense. But Puka Nacua, and in the same way that I was talking about Caleb Williams and taking hits and sustaining hits week in, week out, I mean, he's going to need to be healthy if they want to have success offensively, because if it's just Devontae Adams out there, the defense can dictate terms, and somebody else is going to have to beat these guys up on the outside. And Matt Stafford more than likely will need to have a little bit of time. That being said, if Puka Nacua is healthy, he's a real winner. He's an integral part of this offense.
I want to throw a shout out to Jared Verse too. I'm very excited to see what he does for an encore, because like his rookie season was special. And now he's unique prospect in that he was already older, right? So is there a next level in his development, or is he just like, that's who he is? I mean, like, obviously if that's just who he is his entire career, you're still happy as hell as a Rams fan. He was insanely good, but that guy plays football just the way you want a defensive end to play football. An easy fan favorite. Seattle Seahawks. It's Darnold. I mean, it's Darnold with the weird fit to this slow receiving core, but paired with an OC and Clint Kubiak that love to tack down the football field. He obviously has some crossover there. I believe Clint Kubiak and Darnold were both together in San Francisco at one point in time. So that's it. I mean, it's just like, what does it look like? Is he the guy we saw in Minnesota, or did Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell really do a lot to smooth over the weaknesses in Darnold's game?
Yeah, it's Sam Darnold for me. I mean, there were so many variables that played into – there are so many variables that you can't ignore in Minnesota that don't exist in Seattle for a quarterback to have success. It's hard not to say Sam Darnold. And obviously with the quarterback-driven league, they moved off of Geno Smith. They got rid of DK Metcalf. They're going to ask Sam Darnold to cure a lot of these ills. That's the most important guy.
Arizona Cardinals, where there's a lot of new faces on the defense side of the ball to choose from. But I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. for a few reasons. One, you thought, as a Cardinals fan, when you drafted this guy, you thought you were getting what Brian Thomas Jr. was last year. You were sold this, the way we've seen Jamar Chase hit the ground running, the way we've seen Justin Jefferson hit the ground running, the way we saw Brian Thomas. Like, you were sold that. You were sold this guy who was just going to come in and immediately be a dominant number one wide receiver. Quite frankly, he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't even close to that. Didn't even crack 1,000 yards. Was third in the NFL in contested catches. His separation ability was suspect at times. Only broke one tackle after the catch. Just like a weird pairing too with Kyler Murray, in that they weren't on the same page on a lot of back shoulders, a lot of go balls. Like it just did not work out objectively the way people thought. But obviously he showed up to mini camps jacked out of his mind. Looks like he's about 220 plus pounds now. Has a different element to his game when you're that size compared to NFL corners. So I just think that's what it's going to take for this Cardinals team to get over the hump. They need him and Kyler Murray to be what him and DeAndre Hopkins was. They need it to be an unstoppable combination. that then everything else can play off of. But if it's not, I don't think they get over the hump of the West.
Yeah, that's their real X factor on offense, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to be the guy that came in and just light the world on fire immediately. Obviously, it didn't happen that way. And, the Arizona Cardinals offense ended up being good enough at times. But I think the most important guy, obviously, if we're going to already say Kyler and Marvin Harrison, it's going to be Josh Sweat. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a rusher. And these rushers that get a lot of money, they get a lot of production. And in a new uniform, in a new city, I look for Josh Sweat to have a massive year for the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, San Francisco 49ers. A lot of names to choose from here. I chose Christian McCaffrey because I think we just saw last year how much that offense relies on him. There's how much they want to run the offense through him and then have everything else kind of be ancillary. Obviously, they're still going to have a good running game, even if I was out there playing running back. That's just what Kyle Shanahan does. But he kind of brings that extra cherry on top with his receiving ability, with just his down-to-down consistency when he is fully healthy, that they need him to get back to Super Bowl for him.
Well, funny you should say that Christian McCaffrey is the big important guy who's got a question mark about his health, because the guy that I'm about to name will be in charge if Christian McCaffrey is no longer an option. And he goes by the name of Brock Purdy, and he makes a lot of money. And while we're counting people's money, we'll talk about Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy does not have Christian McCaffrey on the field, he will be forced to earn every single penny of that contract. There are going to be eyeballs on this San Francisco offense like no other year because of the way that they just invested, and John Lynch invested into his quarterback. And it's a quarterback-driven league. If Brock Purdy ain't going, we'll give him the same treatment that Sam Darnold's getting.
Yeah, I mean, he is the most important guy. Like, let's be real. Like, it's going to come down to Brock Purdy not taking any step back if the talent takes a step back, but we'll see if that's the case. That's why they're paying him.